audio is working, hopefully. We're gonna find out, ain't we? Loud. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Allegedly, I am Javier. Playing some more Lost Odyssey. And if you're not catching this live, this won't matter. But, apologize for the lateness. I'm in Dallas. Wasn't I already out of the new? What happened last time? Gotta do a quick check real quick though. That the game audio is working. Check real game audio. Okay. You guys hear me? Delayed. It's delayed. Check game audio. You guys hear me? Why the fuck? There's no audio. Delayed. Check game audio. You guys hear me? Why the fuck? No audio. Through here. Looks good.
This is Kai Marganar. We're comrades. Remember?
Comrades? What do you mean by that?
Here, let me help you.
End of the line for you. Your Majesty, I'm terribly sorry for the trouble. It will be over. Just a moment.
Sorry, this will be over in a second.
Hey, Squeaky! Don't care about the Queen's continued good health, huh?
You!
Get out of the way! You do anything funny and the Queen gets it.
I think we fixed it.
Figurehead or not, she's still the Queen, Tiny. If anything happens to her, you'll be held responsible.
If
You know better than to try anything, right?
let me know
I mean,
if you're out there, because I checked it on my end. If you can hear the game audio. I know you can hear me, but I don't know if you guys can hear the game audio. But I think I got it fixed.
Jansen,
And down to one
fall
source.
back, right.
Yeah. We got to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Don't move! Don't move! Don't you dare move!
Don't. Here.
You get it? Don't move from that spot!
You swine!
I love saying swine. That whale tail though, man. Nothing like early 2000 whale tail. But yeah, if you're out there, let me know if you can hear the game, or if it's just my annoying ass voice coming through. Fireball, but thing ended. Can't be happening. Where could my moo have gone? My dog Moo went off all of a sudden, still hasn't come back. I got lost while he was out looking for food again. Such a pig sometimes. I don't know. There's just like a dog chowing down on food somewhere. Strange plot line to throw at me. I'm goofing around, they're gonna catch up to us. We're in their city, how have they not caught up to us? I know.
I command you to stop!
This guy's annoying.
General Kukunis!
Fucking Vin Diesel.
You won't get away this time, because you're all under arrest on suspicion of spying and for abducting Her Majesty the Queen. You will come along quietly.
No, I won't. Not quietly.
You better say your prayers.
Tank unit, cannon unit. And you going after that. Mechanical element. Things get hot, so I'm gonna be like, that shit's gonna get hot. But for her, we'll do ground, just in case. This guy we're gonna do here. We're gonna do the... Yeah, let's do the combo. And let's see how this fucking guy works. So this thing steals the MP. We definitely want to take those things out. One and one. Gold cannon. In the back though. Just heavy tank. Take that out, I feel like we might have a chance. Let's do fair. Okay. Oh fuck. Fully charged. Perfect! Oh, I was about to get fucking hyped. Full charge hit. Someone's gonna die. Definitely gotta do a fucking healing turn this time.
Let's go!
Nice. Well, not nice per se. They're fucking killing me, but you know what I mean. Doing HP wise, everybody's alright. Oh no, you're the best healer here. This is a feat. Oh. We're on the... Get Minder going on Seth. Oh man, Seth, go to Seth. I get Seth and Jensen confused so much. It's fucking annoying. Good. Good.
A mere handicap. Consider yourselves lucky.
Nice. That means Seth's gonna hella cure everyone, hopefully. Down. I don't like that my GPC is down though. My BGC. I don't like that at all. That means everyone can take maximum amount of damage basically. Which is bad. We never want that, right? We don't want everyone to fucking take max damage. Like, for that cannon. Fire and water, what are we cooling the tank and spirit knife. Kinda again, but this time let's do it on his sister. Good. Why are you scared then? Everyone's gonna take so much damage. No, he went for Kion. Specifically. This next would be take out the cannon. Charge up Seth. Bad. Damn. Good. Volcom? So, I know nobody asked, but the reason I started the stream late today is I was actually recording a special podcast with 8751, which is a podcast, a fan podcast about a podcast. 8750. You should check out both of them, man. Great people, good content, funny shit. Weirdest things you'll ever hear, in a good way. You know what? You know who else showed me some love today? Fucking Tony V, man. Go check out Infinite Journeys. I mean, me personally, I'm not fully caught up to their newest episode. And I just think I fucked up my turn because I'm over here hyping people up. But that's okay, 1, 2, 3, I love that. I love that it said 1, 2, 3. I don't like that it said 2. Go check out Infinite Journeys, you know. Like I said, I'm not caught up. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm not even gonna celebrate that perfect. If I lose this, I deserve it. I like to listen to Infinite Journeys while I'm doing puzzles. Which lately I'm doing this EV Evolutions puzzle, which is like 2,000 pieces. I think I'm gonna need backup doing it. Fire. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing, huh? Skip. Volcanon! I like that. I like the name of that move. Volcanon. I like it. That's a nice move to know that I have. I almost made her attack again. Didn't play these games. Combo. Cannon. 2 damage on the cannon. I fucked that up bad. Oh fuck yeah! Can I get it all? Yeah. No matter how bad I feel I'm doing this encounter, I keep looking at my health and my magic points, and it doesn't seem so bad. I don't know, you guys tell me. You guys are fucking watching me, so you guys tell me how I'm doing. Am I doing good right now? Or am I doing bad? I don't. Maybe this thing's just weak. Like, they made it hard, but it... That makes sense. Buddy, you heal Seth now. I'm doing got an MPP points, magic point. Got a good. Yes.
Don't you realize it's no use? Huh? Why aren't we moving?
Fucking punch the shit out of that cannon, boy. Like Grandpa taught you. Did we just beat the encounter? Nice. Fucking love this game. 300 gold, I got some mysterious perfume. Everybody leveled up. Look at that, that's beautiful. Max almost on par with everyone. What the fuck? Love you, buddies. Could almost say I've played this game before. I have. Full disclosure. I love this game. Fun fact about this game goes. I guess I'll get into this fun fact after the cutscene. Cutscenes are important. Enjoy. I'm gonna mute myself for a bit. Enjoy the cutscene.
What are you doing? Fire! Shoot them!
Give Worldtail some air,
Sorry about that
please.
thing back there.
Don't be.
Well, I didn't want to pull a stunt like that, but listen, did I hurt you? I'm sorry if I did. I didn't mean it.
It's fine. Everyone is safe now after all.
Well, you know, I should really be thanking you for helping us escape.
Well, since these children were there.
You're acting kind of weird. You got a crush.
Would you shut up? We had a moment there.
Aunt Ming, are you okay?
Good Aunt Ming.
Cook? Mac? Why are you two? Did something happen to your mother?
Fucking dead, dog. She died like 2 episodes ago.
Passed on.
That's a nicer way of saying it.
Please don't let your spirits fall. I'll always be with you.
Thank you, Aunt Ming.
Okay, Cook.
Oh, why would a big boy like you be crying, Mac?
That's toxic as fuck, lady.
He's going to change from here on out.
That's toxic as fuck, Kyle. Sometimes you just need to let out the fucking tears.
What you said earlier, that we were friends, is it true?
Yeah, but this isn't the best place to stop and talk about it. We need to get out of town.
What will you do, Your Highness? You said earlier you couldn't
I was
leave
gonna
because
make
you
a
were the
comment,
queen.
but then I
I'll
just
go
proved
with
Jose
you.
right.
It seems
Wanna
I
make a
must.
comment.
You come with us?
Yes.
Aw, yeah, new party member. Whale tail for the win.
Yeah.
Kinda wish I would have bought more items before we left too.
Hold on. We're being pursued by both Numara and Gongora. We should probably find a ride.
Oh,
Ride? Where? How?
we're gonna get a car. I mean, not a car, I think a
Let's
boat.
go to the harbor. I've got an idea.
When you get that boat in the JRPG, you making progress. I want to be the composite man. Some magic spells can be combined together to form what is composite magic. I don't know if I'm saying fantastic composite magic. You must be able to use both of the spells that compose it. Spellbook under menu to check if the spells required for composite magic. Any composite spell magic which you lack the required spells will not be displayed. You can only use composite magic spells for which you have the required skill. Now that they said all that, let's get into our skills. Let's do the boring part of the stream. I'm a little late, guys, but it's okay. Life's too. Did I mention I recorded a podcast with some amazing people earlier? Gonna drop this Thursday. Check it out. I had no clue what. Can't add mean yet. Can I do still thing? Can't use you yet, so isn't there like a black magic one? That's some. Oh, spirit magic pretty useful. Black magic that later. Not even worried about you right now. The learning combo. He's still learning power hit. Yeah, we're pretty much set. Good to always check your stats. Along with always saving, always check your stats. Porto. Fucking music rules, man. Shipyard is up ahead. That's where the latest model is being built. Let's take a look. Let's go borrow the first. Let's fucking save, baby. I feel like that's a lot of gold, but I might be wrong. Today's standard, I'd be pretty loaded. it, guys. I'm fireballing Nyquil right now. Dude, let's fix one of Jose's other fucking complaints that I don't explore. I don't explore in most games, my guy. Never explore. He's right. Telling the truth. No capping. No Captain Crunch. Unlocked. We're in luck. They just started the final adjustment. Means that we're fitting the engine. Going back and explore. We can't leave yet. Just look up business. Alright. I could deal with it.
Wow, this is a serious engine.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Eh?
Hey, that engine. Where'd you get it?
Oh, this. Let's see, when was that? A while back, an unbelievably huge fish washed up on shore. This was in its belly.
We checked it out and realized it could deliver incredible output, so we fixed it.
When the
and
fuck do we
installed
get
it in the
different
boat.
races?
Did the repairs work?
Like a charm. That boat was built to be General Kakanis' command vessel. Installing it is all that's left.
I see.
Don't mention it.
A huge fish, huh? You know, a while back,
Is there something you remember?
I
Fish
really
story?
depended on it.
Depend on what? The fish or the engine?
The engine, it's from back when I was a pirate. Huh?
Seth.
You were a pirate?
Fucking love kids.
Yep, that's right.
Wow! Amazing! That is so...
Huh?
Oh yeah, I've always loved women who are pirates and swordswomen and stuff. I read books about them for like ever.
Fuck yeah.
It is so exciting to meet a real woman pirate. I mean, to make a long story short, She wants to be your apprentice. Yeah. What he said. Could I?
Your grandpa's
Seth,
right there, by the way.
Please, Seth, please, please.
That does sound like Tiny Tina. I've never noticed that. Thanks for dropping in. Well, I already shouted out the episode a couple times. But I also got a little more faded. So. What up, little guy? The boat that's built right now is on the flat. Okay. Good. Let me steal it. For family. You know, this is one of my favorite JRPGs. Why I'm playing it for everyone. It's from when like the Xbox 360 launched, and Microsoft really wanted to get some numbers in Japan. So they had some really lit JRPGs.
Inform General Kakanis that the engine installation is complete. He said to call him when we're ready for a test run.
Alright, yeah. Oh, hey, look! Someone's on board! Oh,
Hey, yourself, you little...
What are you doing there? Get off!
Jensen gives like mad
Get word to General Kakanis! Hurry!
yes, sir!
that's nice. I wish I could re-experience this game with Virgin Eyes. Pretty amazing.
Your ship is leaving. Thank you.
I was saying Jensen gives me Bill Murray vibes.
Oh, wow, a lot of buttons there. gonna need a manual. I think I'm...
Out of the way, Emma. Here goes.
So basically, the story of I'm gonna wait till the cutscene. I always do this. I'm gonna mute myself real quick.
Cast off.
Back. But I was saying, this game's about these immortals that don't remember their lives, but they just know they're immortal, and then getting those memories back. Oh, I'm in control now. I lied. I wasn't in control. Yeah, slant nose. With the slant nose at hand, you're able to traverse the wide open ocean. Okay, left stick, right stick, camera view. Ice fields and hypercurrents are not okay. Bridge to return to this. Okay. Land with A. Click the right stick. Alright. No, we don't need to. I think now we can get into the DLC dungeon. But the part of this is part of this game is this really well-renowned Japanese writer did this part called The Dreams, which is where the main character Kaim remembers his memories throughout the 1,000 years he's been alive. And like on the first stream for this game, which you could check out on YouTube, I just start crying, man. It's the only one that's really made me cry like that. It was called Hannah. It was about this little girl that couldn't leave this place she lived at because she was too sickly. Oh man, it fucking tears.
Land at last! Dry land. No more worrying about sinking on that stupid ship. Ow! Hey, what the hell was that for?
The slant nose will never sink. Not with the captain's engine on board.
You think you're so cool now that you're a pirate? Well, I'm gonna teach you a thing or two about the pirate code.
And what code would that be?
What code? Well, that
See,
would be
this is
secret pirate code.
like we were
that
talking
would
about
do
on
if we
this
got
week's
stuck.
episode of 8751, which you can catch this Thursday.
Wow, Cook is such a... And what a kick. Boy, she's strong,
Jensen here.
that Cook.
Hardcore simping for the queen.
I have no idea what you've just said.
Well, what I'm saying is that Cook is as cute as a button. She's just... Oh, you must be proud.
You lying creep. Cook, it hurts when you get kicked, you know?
It's same as JD.
But he insulted the captain. Isn't that right, Captain? Captain?
Seth's in our own world right now. That was dramatic.
Sad.
Dad's dead, baby. Going off the popular Dad's dead. Dream has been revealed. Oh shit, we got our first dream of the night. Simpin' is pimpin'. A wondrous beast, Andrea, proud descendant of the white-winged clan. You alone were my irreplaceable companion. Would it anger you to hear me call us two of a kind? Were we not, in fact, the perfect combination, you and I, bound together by a single thread that gossamer thread we know as loneliness. Andrea, I owe my life to you, not of course that you saved my life in the ordinary sense of the word, Mine is not a life that can be lost under any circumstances. It is an irrevocable burden. I will not die. I cannot die, and therefore my life, not for you to save. Oh, Andrea, what you saved, I now see, was not my life, but my heart. I hope I'm saying that name right. Back then, long centuries ago, I was a pirate, the only pirate on the open seas. Seth Balmore, that name was well known to all who piled the seas. Some spoke my name in fear and trembling, while others voiced it with the deepest admiration. Some even called me the righteous buccaneer. Nor were they far wrong, I'd say. The pirate ships I commanded had rules that were clear and strict, targeted only one kind of vessel, those opulent passenger ships the wealthy boarded for pleasure cruises. It would put a bit of scare into the passengers, a score, maybe rough them up a little, but killing was strictly forbidden. All we did was squeeze a few drops of treasure out of the purses of those who had more money than they knew what to do with. We traded our booty for cash with shadow dealers, and the money we shared in the world dens of poverty. I would cringe at being called a champion at justice, but we prided ourselves on being far more than villains. The Pirate Code. I became a pirate for one simple reason. I hated the law, and I hated even those who flaunted the law for their own big ass words. Aggrandizement? In a word, I wanted life of freedom. Whenever I stood at the prow of a pirate ship slicing its way through the waves, and I viewed the vast ocean stretch out beneath the clear blue sky, I felt enveloped in the joy of having taken limitless freedom in my own two hands. True, I need not traffic in fear of death and aging known to all who count as human, and I will neither age nor die. Infinite time for me means infinite freedom. Not bad, wouldn't you say? I would spy the ship that would be our day's quarry. I was always the first to board it, springing lightly onto their deck with a shout. I am Seth Balmorn. Now be good and hand over your money and valuables. Then taking the booty we had snatched, my men and I would rise a cry of victory and leap back into our ship. I was absolutely free. Nothing stood in my way. Eternal life overflowing with freedom. Not bad, wouldn't you say? Righteous Buccaneer, what kind of fancy pants nonsense is that? How about pirate bitch? Damn! Talk about self-hate. Of course, one always hears such jealous ravings in all walks of life, but especially so in the thuggish world of pirates. Needless to say, I knew I had many enemies. Even a child would realize that being called a righteous buccaneer could only increase the number who hated me among such raping and pillaging brigades as pirates of the sea. But I didn't care about that. I could be stabbed with a knife or blasted with a cannon, and still I would not die. She is immortal. Yeah, the dreams are story time. Immortal Seth, they call me, and it was literally true, not just the figure of speech. I won't get in your way, I told the other pirates, but I won't let you get in mine either. I was afraid of nothing and no one. I lived the way I wanted to live, and wouldn't or shouldn't have let anyone interfere with me. I went wrong only once, but that was all it took. In a moment of carelessness, I let them capture me. Of course, that alone was nothing for me to be afraid of. As I keep mentioning, I could never age or die. It would have done them no good to try and kill me. They knew it. They mostly did. The most they could do would be rough me up a little and try to make it worse for next time. They had to do something to show their men how tough they were. They couldn't just let the Horn and other pirates game and pretend it never happened. I don't think I read that right. So I said, hurry up with the torture, will ya? I haven't got all day. We were in a cave on a deserted island. I was in handcuffs and leg irons and surrounded by a half-dozen huge men. All well-known pirate captains. One of them was holding a long, thick chain. I get sick to my stomach just looking at your sweaty faces. Come on, hurry up and beat me with the chain, or would you rather strangle me? Whichever you choose, hurry up and get it over with. The men laughed out loud. Hurry up and get it over with, said the leader. Too bad for you, Seth. But this punishment is not the one that can be heard. I'm just sorry we can't stay with you to the end. Yeah, chimed in another man. Unlike a monster like you, we humans don't have all of the time in the world. Okay, man. Let's make it fast. That's the way the lady wants. Licking his lips, the man grabbed his chain and approached me, and two others grabbed my arms and sides. They were not going to use the chains as an instrument of torture, but to rob me of my liberty. They chained me to a gigantic boulder in the cave. They were laughing so hard they could hardly contain themselves. It's what you needed, Seth. It's the end of the road for you. We can't shoot you, we can't stab you, but we'll just lock you up. We'll never come back to this island again. And even if a half-baked pirate like you knows this place is not any sea lanes, no fishing boats even, and right about now your men have gone off looking for the wrong island. We're the only ones who know we brought you here, and not even our crews know where we are. Nobody's coming to save you, that's for sure. You'll be here forever. Can't move a muscle and you can't die, all by yourself for the rest of eternity. That's a unique twist. With that, the men walked out of the cave, leaving me there with a single lantern. Cowards, I screamed. Don't run off like that. Don't do this to me. But the only response was the hollow echo of my own voice in the cave. The lantern the men left behind was not meant as a kindness, but rather the opposite. It was a prop in their little drama. When it finally ran out of oil and went dark, it would impress on me the weight of eternal solitude. As long as the lamp kept glowing, I was filled with rage for the men. But when the oil was running low and the flame began to flicker, a deep anxiety assaulted me. Unable to move, I stared blankly at the flame. Eternity. The world has no such thing, or perhaps it should not have. Solitude. I was once alone, or more precisely, I would end up alone. It was my destiny. I could be surrounded by companions whose feelings matched my own perfectly. I could share the deepest love with any other. But in the end, I would always have to lose them. You know what it feels like to see countless others succumb to death while you yourself on the road of endless life. But in your case, Andrea, you have some idea. As I watched the lamp in the cave run out, a world of darkness spread out before me. No more would I taste the sorrow of parting, but neither would I be able to taste the joy of meeting, eternally without end, alone. I did not try shouting. People shout and scream for one reason only, because they want someone to hear them, because they believe there is someone somewhere who will hear their cries. I did, however, shed tears, which is not to say I wept. There is one way the immortal woman pirates of Balmore would never break down and cry. A tiny tremor went through the darkness, that's all it was, and then I noticed. Oh, tears are coming out of me. Really? Is that all it was? The hours passed, or perhaps it was days. In the darkness, I lost track of the flow of time. There was something else I lost track of. If all there was left of me was to do was stay by myself, struggling against eternal solitude, incapable of even rotting away, then what was the purpose of my living in the world? Perhaps the men who had trapped me here had been right. Unable to age or die, perhaps I was some kind of monster. Then why was such a monster living in this world? What was I supposed to do here? I did not know the answer to that. I would never know the answer to that. To the end of my never-ending life, I felt frustration, sorrow, but all above fear. Eternity was frightening for me. Solitude was frightening to me. I might have been trembling, or without even the energy for that, I might have been utterly drained. Whatever it was I was feeling, that is when it happened, Andrea. That is when you first appeared before me. A tiny burst of light softened the darkness, and from the light, almost before I could wonder what it was, there came a voice. Are you too trapped in the prison of solitude? Who is that? In the light, a flash of white wings. Then, with a sudden increase in the size of brightness, the light seared my eyes. Accustomed to total darkness, my eyes could not stand the glare, and for an instant they couldn't see anything at all. Grimacing, I clamped my eyes shut before daring to open them little by little. There before me hovered a pure white glowing beast. Its wings were breathtakingly beautiful. How beautiful you were, Andre. Yours was not a florid beauty, nor was a subtlety different. Your beauty wore a cloak of loneliness. I am like you, then, and when I cocked my head back, I look at you with puzzlement. You continue. I've been looking for someone like you for a very long time. Spoke slowly, majestically. Oh, immortal woman pirate, you and I share a single destiny. You knew who I was. Together, let us escape from this solitude and make our way together. You said, your eyes locked on mine. Escape from this solitude. The words continued ringing in my ear, but I did not know who you were. I could not even be sure what you were, nor could I leap joyfully at the invitation of one I could not tell as friend or foe. Who are you? I asked. I am Andrea of the White Wing Clan. White Wing Clans. I heard that name before. The White Wing Clan were said to be wondrous beasts that had become extinct in the distant past. I have heard that the White Wing Clan died out long ago. I am the last of the bloodline, the only survivor. Indeed, as I said, the last. Which is why you spoke of solitude? At that point, almost before I knew it, a weak, almost self-mocking smile crept over my face. I felt myself lowering my guard as I spoke to you. My chains, however, were digging even deeper into my flesh, shackling my heart as well. You used the phrase prison of solitude before. True, this is a prison. Being alone for eternity is a prison without bars. You nodded at these words of mine, Andrea, in silence, but then you said, I was in prison too, until just now. I'm sure it's true to be the only living survivor. I spent far too long time alone. I know what you mean. In the legend, members of the White Wing Clan are thought to live 1,000 years. But even if you were to live on for several centuries as a sole survivor, you could never meet a female member of the White Wing Clan and hope to make children with her. The clan will never rise again. Sole survivor must live out the remainder of his days alone. In order to conquer this unbearable loneliness, you said, I will need someone to make her way with me. Then you looked hard at me and said, O pirate woman, are you not of the same mind? I nodded in agreement. But then I made a point of smiling and said as casually as I could, in other words, you're lonely. Your beautiful face softened and you said with some embarrassment, I wonder. According to legend as I have heard it, the clan of the White Wings are proud and love their solitude. This only increased your embarrassment and you said solitude has its limits. That I did. I decided to trust you then and there. But if that's how you feel, you should come right out and say it. I want company. Company? Alright, a companion? A companion. Exactly. So it's decided. I'll team up with you. That ended all hesitation. Just as you saw in me one to make your way together with, I put my full trust in you. Let's go wild on the high seas, I cried. Isn't that what makes our way together means? You mean that I should become a pirate? You don't like the idea. You paused for the space of one breath and chuckled softly. I've always wanted to give it a try. No sooner were the words out of your mouth than you leaped at me. With one bite, you cut through the thick chains that held me down. A wondrous beast, Andrea, proud descendant of the White Wing Clan. This is how you and I first met. In the 900 years since then, we raged over the open sea more wildly than I ever had before. When I stood at the prow of our pirate ship in search of prey, you were always there beside me. We became irreplaceable partners, friends, companions, family. The end. Vin Diesel would say, in the end, all we got is family. I need water after that. No, I read these all out loud. I find the dreams are important. I feel like some people would skip them. I don't know.
You're crying.
But for me, on the first playthrough
When you were a
of
pirate?
this game, they meant a lot to me.
Remembering made you cry?
So now I'll make a fool out of myself and read them to you guys.
I've
And
always been a
go
pirate.
check these out on YouTube. Remember,
I was crying
check out
because-
past episodes on YouTube.
Because of something that happened that I regret.
Oscata Village South. But no, it's like I feel like they couldn't afford to make like super fancy flashback cutscenes, so they went with that really renowned Japanese writer to do the writing. Also, this game is actually made by the guy that made the original Final Fantasies. Yeah, no problem.
Look,
What I
it's
do.
Kaim.
Oh, everybody remembered me.
Hey, everybody! Kaim's back! It's good to see you again, Kaim. But you haven't changed a bit.
You don't remember she. Safe. They have a Klingon. Not a Klingon. Those are from Star Trek. Leon? They're called. Do you guys have a store? I love that statue. Wait, Kaim, you're Kaim, right? My grandfather told me all about you. He gave this to me as a keepsake. It was really valuable to us, but to protect our village rights. So here, Kaim, I want to return it to you. Magic power locator. A treasure that's really way up high lies into. Paramount, you'll be able to look for treasures hidden all over the world. Find treasures, you must obtain information on the whereabouts of those treasures. Sounds like normal treasure hunting. Once you get information on treasures, it will appear on the treasure screen. When you have your magic power located information, there will be a glowing point on the map. You enter the area where the treasure is hidden in the map and get it. Level it up. We don't need the tutorial again. Fair share of battles, but one day just I was swinging my sword at someone, I thought, man, I wish I could have been a baker. I have no idea how a thought like that came to me after the battle. I quit the army, and I made my living baking bread ever since. I'm doing a shooter for doing another dream immediately. I need another fireball in me and a hit of marijuana, allegedly, and some OJ for my voice. Like, these are long. What is this one called? They have a title. I didn't read the title of the last one. I'm gonna read this first page. Ah. Alright. The hero. Oh, I wonder if he wore a cape. Because I've been told not all heroes wear capes. The hero was home from the war. He had performed gallantly on the battlefield, advanced to the rank of general, triumphal entry into the village of his birth. The villagers welcomed him with a festive celebration. The grown-ups were treated to drinks beginning in the afternoon, and the children received sweet confections. Cattle and sheep in the pastures that supported the villagers' livelihood, whether they were excited by the unusual commotion or were welcoming the hero in their own way, sent especially sheer cries reverberating into the blue summer sky. General, you are the pride of our village. Obviously full of pride himself, the head of the village thrust out his chest as he delivered his congratulatory address in a welcoming ceremony. To think that the foremost hero in the army came from this tiny village is so incredibly exhilarating and gratifying. I am sure our ancestors are overjoyed as well. The throng crammed into the village square burst forth with cheers and applause. According to the official figures released by the army the other day, General, you brought down at least 2,000 enemy soldiers with your own hand. A thunderous roar shook the square. Come to think of it, the population of this village is less than 1,000. This means, sir, that you managed to bury more than 2 of these villages worth on your own. How fortunate for us that you were not one of the enemy. If by any chance there had been a warrior of your caliber on their side, we'd all be resting on a hilltop grave by now. A few women frowned momentarily at this remark, but the men, full of liquor, responded with an explosive laugh. Sitting stage center, the general lightly stroked his dignified beard. No one present knew that this was his habit whenever he was perplexed. When he left his village to join the army, he was an ordinary soldier a long way from growing a beard. He was a young Cody, basically. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? General, you are truly the savior of our armies, and indeed of our entire nation. I understand you will be leaving for another battle tomorrow, but we all appreciate that you will thoroughly enjoy yourself on this rare visit to your birthplace. The village chief ended his greetings and withdrew to the wings, whereupon the village number on one entertainer bound onto the stage in the most comical way he could manage. "Dear General," he cried, running over to where the great man was seated and going down on his knees. "Oh, hear my plea." The general looked at him uncertainly. "Is there any possibility that you would lend me the sword at your side, if only for a moment?" Perplexed though he was by all this, the general, impelled by the audience applause and cheers, handed this man his tassel and jewel-encrusted sword. Man, this guy's Kanye West. I don't doubt that he was born with a beard. That seems very plausible. The man bowed deeply as the sword entered his outstretched hands, and again he cried, "My gratitude knows no bounds." Pretending to stagger under the weight of the sword, he came to the front edge of the stage and held the weapon aloft. "And now, ladies and gentlemen, I will reenact the event that raised our dear general's fame to the heights in a single bound, when he hacked 18 of the enemy into teeny bits." The audience cheered wildly, and the man, with exaggerated movements and commentary, swung the sword in a great arc. The audience knew exactly what he was doing. The general had not only made himself for his strategic prowess, but was also widely acclaimed as a warrior on the battlefield. He did not rely solely on his weapons, but in the end leveled his opponent with his sheer physical strength. This too was a matter of the utmost pride for the villagers. "Here we go." 1 man down, 2 men down, flip the sword back, 3 men down. 4th man slashed diagonally right through the shoulder, 5th man had to go flying, oof. Then 3 at once, 6, 7, and 8th man. What a bother, I'll just skewer you like this. The men thrust the sword through 3 imaginary opponents, and the crowd went wild. The general too broke into a smile and applaud. When he was through clapping, though, he stroked his beard again. I feel like there's gonna be a bout of PTSD in here. I'm sure you can understand how I felt at the same time. Sitting up there on the stage, the old general says to Kion before taking a sip of water from his leather pouch. The significant beard is completely white. So distant are the past events he is recounting. Kion nods in silence. The general continues as if mulling over every word. "The more you know about war, the more you feel that way. Sure, the villagers meant well, they just wanted to pay homage to their hometown hero. Though of course, they weren't being the least bit malicious. My village has the nicest people in the world, which is exactly why I found the whole thing so painful. I couldn't stand it after a while." Hacking 18 men to beat. The deeds of a hero are related in numbers. Surely the man who playfully swung the general's sword on the stage that day could never have imagined the ones who lost their lives in the agonized expressions on their faces, the curse in their eyes as they stared into nothingness. But that's all right too. People who live in peaceful lives don't have to know about such things. That's what people like us are for. Keep their lives far away from the battlefield. Don't you agree? Thanks to us and our killing of enemies, the people we're supposed to protect don't have to know anything about the bloodiness of war. Unless you believe that, what's the point of people killing each other? Iam says nothing in reply. Without either affirming or negating the old general's words, he stares vaguely at the general's troops. "What'd you say your name is? Iam? I suppose you've killed more enemy soldiers than you can begin to count." "There's no way I could count them all." "I thought so. You have A flawless build, the kind that can only be tempered on the battlefield. Only a man who has survived one battle after another can carry himself the way you do with complete naturalness. How does a man like you find himself driving a horse cart over a mountain pass? Priam is ready to leave without answering if the old man asks him such a question. But the general inquires no further into Priam's background. Instead, there is a sense of relief in the smile he bestows on the sight of Priam resting his horses at the pass. I was 16 at the time when I went into battle. After that, I just kept running from one fight to another until I made it all the way to general. At first, I remembered the faces of the men I crossed swords with and killed. Even if you don't try to remember them, they get carved into your memory. I had terrible nightmares. And try as I might, I could never seem to wash off the stench of the blood that splashed my face and hands. That was a hallucination, of course. But it got so bad once that I spent a whole night in the river trying to wash myself off. The general paused a moment to think about his story, then went on. But after a while, you get used to it. You get used to fighting and killing over and over again. Your body and your mind, and your heart, you just get used to it. That's how people are, so I stopped having nightmares. I killed all the enemy soldiers I could lay my hands on. I forgot every one of their faces. It's the same for you now, too, isn't it? Maybe so? It's like a curse. If you don't get used to it, your heart breaks. On the other hand, if you do get used to it, your heart probably ends up breaking someplace deeper down. The general cast a fond glance towards his resting troops, then slowly shifting his gaze far down to the foot of the mountain, says, "But that's what it's like for me back then, when I returned to my birthplace in triumph." For the final event in the welcoming ceremony, several children mounted the stage, and then, in honor of the hero, the children will present to the general a floral wreath more marvelous than the greatest medal there ever was. The audience went wild again. When the children put the wreath on his neck, the general favored them with a warm smile, and the first honest smile from the heart that he had managed since climbing onto the stage. And finally, as a special treat for the general, who had been galloping from one battle to the next far from his native place, the children chosen representative will read his own original composition spelling out the joys of peaceful life of the village. With a look of grim intensity, a small boy barely old enough to go to school unfolded his composition, and gripping it in two hands began to read, straining to make himself heard. First, I'm going to write one of the nicest things that's happened to me. My house, and we have a pasture with lots of cows and sheep. One cow had a baby 2 days ago. I helped my daddy by stroking the cow's back with a handful of straw while she was having the baby. That makes the cow warm up so easy for her to give birth. The baby was born just before the sun came up. It was a tiny baby, but it could already stand on its own two legs. A baby. Wow. I'm going to take care of this baby until it gets big. Dear little calf, hurry up and grow, okay? The general had tears in his eyes. Now I'm going to write one of the saddest things that's happened to me. That's when my grandma got sick and died. She was such a nice grandma. I know her sickness made her feel bad, but when she was smiling when I was around, she let me hold her hand when she died. I watched her face the whole time because I knew I wouldn't be able to see her anymore. I wanted to remember her even after growing up. She just kept smiling and smiling for me right at the very end. That's why she is always smiling when I think of her. Are you looking down on me from the sky, Grandma? I will never forget you as long as you live. Tears were streaming down the general's face. Man, I'm about to fucking cry. When the ceremony ended, the general left his village and headed for the town where our army headquarters were located. There he wrote a long letter to the king, and he gave his sword to the most trusted lieutenant. The general had decided to retire. This was a big surprise to me, as it was to anybody, but when I heard that little boy's essay, it occurred to me, what makes us really human is to celebrate each life that comes into the world and mourn each that is lost. I didn't need medals anymore. I didn't need honor to being I didn't need the honor of being allowed into the presence of His Majesty anymore. I wanted to be a real human being again. As a result, overnight, I went from being the village hero to being reviled as a traitor. The general turns to face Kaim and asks, "So are you going to mock me as a coward who ran away from the battlefield? Or blame me for being a deserter who betrayed his own patriotism?" Kaim turns a gentle smile on the old man. "Neither," he said. "As a soldier, you made the wrong decision. But as a human being, you made the right one." The general strokes his white beard and says, "My habit has changed too. Nowadays, I find myself stroking my beard when I'm embarrassed." The two men look at each other and smile. "Okay, back to work," says the general, standing with a grunt. He calls out to his troop, "All right, men, it's downhill from here. Let's give it one more last push and get back to the village before sunset." The troops under the general's command consists of 30 sheep, not one of whom is likely to take a person's life. I don't know, you could choke on sheep meat or something. I don't know, things happen. "Tell me, Kaim, are you planning to go back to the battle at some point?" "I don't really know," he replies. "I'm content with herding sheep for now," the general says. "I don't have the least regret for the decision I made that day. It would make me happy to think this could be a kind of lesson for you." His parting remark, the general turns away from Kaim and begins walking. The sheep amble along after him in the newly reformed ranks. Standing at attention, the general raises his right arm and waves his troop on. "Forward march!" The command he had once delivered to tens of thousands of men in the battlefield now echoes pleasantly among the mountains of his native village. The end. That one was a good one. Ooh, discover treasure information. You can do that? I didn't remember you could do that. I wanted to buy potions. No more memories, please. Like the game's gonna fucking listen to me. Fuck is Dino? Looking for the store. I like how nobody ever freaks out in this fucking game. But like in JRPGs in general, it's just like, hey. Old man Basso's house. This road leads out of the village, but you'd best avoid it. Yeah, it's dangerous out there. So I'm trying to find a shop. This looks like a store. It's an inn, Kaim. Look, it's been a long voyage, and I'm sure you're tired, so why don't we call it a day here, okay? I swear if I get another fucking dream immediately, I'm gonna have to go
I'll
get
go
another
speak
shooter.
with the king. We've never met, but I've heard he's very wise. I'm confident that he has a ship that can get us past the hypercurrents.
If that's JD, he just downed an appletini.
No.
Are you even listening to me?
There's a time and place for that stuff, and this is neither. Tell me, is it really
Relax,
true you
lady.
can't drink?
Yes.
That is so sad. But you're a queen. I mean, don't you have wine or champagne at parties or banquets, hangings, any festive thing like that?
No.
Well, look it. Nobody knows this here. Come on, just give it a try. I guarantee you'll like it. Really.
Jensen, you're coming out date rapey.
It won't kill you, I promise. In fact, I bet if you
Peer
take a couple
pressure.
drinks, you might get your memory back. Yeah, it relaxes the mind and other things.
Fucking
You think
Bill
so?
Cosby out here.
Absolutely. Hey,
the
look at me,
pudding.
you're talking to Jansen here. Bottoms up.
Bottoms
Which
up.
actually, he did roof here earlier in the game. Then escape, but then she's
What?
like, I
You
was
don't like the
faking
cheap
it.
stuff?
You weirdo.
No, it's just I've never tasted anything like it before.
You don't have to force yourself to drink it.
No, I want my memory back. If there's any chance this will help, I'll manage to drink it.
Cheers, bro. I'll drink to that. I lost my lighter. I found my lighter. I'm gonna mute this.
That's good. Are you, okay?
Whew. I feel very lightheaded all of a sudden. It's affecting me like you said it would. Oh, your muscles
Yeah,
are
well-
so...
Hey, oh! Oh, no.
Oh no! I didn't know you could get disconnected from the chat. Thanks for
You know,
popping
you're
back in, though.
Sleep.
What? Oh!
What the hell do you think you're doing?
With the
We're having a
pudding.
serious discussion about, what's going to happen next and planning.
Happen next?
Yeah. She's going to talk to the king and get us a ship because yours can't float worth it. After all, Goats has got the most advanced technology around. We figured we'd get a more seaworthy ship from him. So that, What?
All right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time. But
He
don't
said
try any
totally,
funny business
JD.
with Ming.
Yeah, well, I'm looking out for her too, I mean, look how restful she looks right now.
The apple teenies. Volte's Inn. That's a cool name for an inn. Volte's Inn. Let's go fight some things. Fuck that, let's go into other people. Ah, there's children here. Expected it to be empty.
Hey, Kime! I heard you were back.
This place takes me back. And it looks like the years have been good to you.
Knock it off. I'm a bona fide old man now.
Well, if you don't mind my saying so, you've aged really well.
Calm down. Likes her men older, I guess. Hey, to each their own, right?
Thanks, honey. Drink up. This is on the house.
Well, that is mighty nice. I don't mind if I do. Can I have that big, large mug over there?
I was only 7 when you saved the village, but I remember you as if it were yesterday.
Fucking
You
feel
were
a
a
drink coming
hero to
on.
us kids back then.
Yeah? So, we're trying to get to Goatsa.
Ah, forget it. The only way is through the Black Cave.
Oh, I just had PTSD.
I heard it'd been closed off by some old sorceress.
There's nothing to be afraid of. We'll just bust our way through.
It's not that simple. Neither muscle nor
Or
magic
fucking
have had any effect.
that black cave.
Although my guess is that only that old sorceress can bust through the blockage. She's got some serious...
Why don't we wait until she goes
The
to the
witch's
bathroom?
cave.
Then we can sneak by her.
Oh, it gets better. You know that place where you and Sarah lived? Well, that old sorceress...
My house?
What? Hey, you don't even have a lease agreement?
We kept the place up after you and Sarah went away. So it'd be
Oh no,
ready
it's just
if you
I had
came back.
trouble beating the black cave and the sorceress when I
But
was younger.
I'm afraid she's made a mess of it.
I might have
Sorry.
lost the remote or two,
Don't trouble
allegedly.
yourself. Saves us the hassle of having to look for her.
That's a good point.
Like I said, I've played this game before.
The only thing to do with squatters
I'm
is
kind of
run them out.
rediscovering it.
Well, I think you'll be okay. Just
We're off to kick some old woman's butt. That doesn't sound right.
You're not gonna go off and
Oh
leave
man,
Ming
man,
like
ever
this,
since you
are
said JD, I can't stop seeing JD. I did see Bill Murray at first. Gave me a Bill,
We'll
Bill
head
Murray
out
vibe.
there tomorrow morning.
My movie cast is still, well, no, now it would have to be the guy that plays JD as fucking Jensen. But my movie cast would be Kyle, Keanu Reeves, Seth, Halle Berry. This guy's now the guy that plays JD. I have no kid actors. And I don't know who would play the queen. I'd have to think about it. But safe. I don't want to watch all that again. I just see Keanu Reeves as Kyle. We would have to get him to shave his beard. He's immortal, right? He knows what it's like. They're purple. Oh, okay. Thank God I came back in here. There was no children this time. Randomly performs a counterattack. What I have? I can. That seems useful. I don't need 11 of them. Anything that grants immunity. We can learn that from. Gordon. The boring part of JRPGs. I got equipped all that shit. Yeah, that's a big fucking upgrade. Was it Jensen? It's a nice big black pole instead of a light staff. He did. I didn't notice that. I guess now we gotta go through. Let's get into some battles, man. This has been a very heavy, story-heavy episode. Let's get to the magic. Treasure's gonna be up there. Can I climb that ladder? $500 gold. That almost paid for my sword. I feel like this economy's broken. Maybe I'm not buying enough shit. I don't know. I do not. We'll find us a witch. What they call a sorceress. I feel like I'm in Peru right now. I don't know why. Nice music going on. Old Sorcerer's Mansion. So this is the home of the old sorcerers. Gives me the creep. So strange, I can feel an intense magic energy covering the entire mansion. It means the old sorceress is here, right? In any case, we gotta find that old woman. I'm scared. Me too, Mac. Don't be such a scaredy cat, Mac. The world's so scary. The house where Mom used to live with Kaim and everyone. I know, but someone else is living here. That's, well, yeah, but look, let's just be careful, okay? We don't have any idea what we'll find. Zombies. We find zombies. No, we don't. Ridiculous. Ooh, did you see that? Ghost baby. Yeah. I didn't even read the text. I just read the text before the text came out. Go medicine. Oh dear. Well, what the hell was that? Get us, stutters. Shiny, you go to the shiny. Poem fragment name. Thus all that lives, thus flow, thus do they fade away.
What's that?
They look like pieces of a poem.
The sorceress did this. She made a mess of everything. Let's get rid of her.
Over a poem? Damn, bro. Straight up gonna murk a lady over half a poem. Now we save. Always save your game, kids. If you don't save your game, it won't save itself. Autosave didn't exist yet. Always save your game. Even if you have autosave, save your game. Always have a manual save. Follow that ghost. It went into the mirror. We're fucking going into the okay. Poem fragment B. Warmth brings no solace. Can't read any more of this, it's all falling apart. Random encounter time. Dun dun dun!
Get away!
Oh fuck. Alright, these guys are in the bag. I gotta take out these two guys first. Always good to try different things. Not even the perfect. I love it when they get perfect. Fucking close. Damn! That's 200 HP in one move. And that did zip. Nada. Magic ain't gonna work on those guys. Oh. Hi, Magic, how about you heal my boy here? Kills you have. Random elemental, yeah, let's do that. Power on, let's do that on Seth. These guys only take physical damage. We need to be as strong as we can. How do I get a bag? Fuck these guys.
Let's go!
Like combo. Let's do it on these guys. Good. I mean, that killed him, but... Fuck these guys, they almost killed Seth already and haven't even hit him. Even Mac and Cook have their own respective problems going on right now. Oh no. If this one's about to die, let's just kill that one. Cook is a rock right now. He's turned to fucking stone. And I fucked up my ring. Alright. Motherfucker's a rock. I was like, why didn't he get to pick what he wanted to do? Because he's a rock. Kill South. What do you know that fucking South doesn't know? I guess they, at least they turned Cook to stone. I love it when they get perfects. 800 damage.
What a waste of time.
Are they though? Our rock's diverse. Still got XP though, right? No, he didn't even get XP. Still a rock. Come on, let me put her in. On this ran into the mirror. A bit dirty, but it's just a regular mirror, isn't it? But I swear something went in there. It seems like something was broken off from the frame right here. I think I remember a jewel of some kind fitted in there. They're great. Oh no 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 no! I hate when they do that. I hate when that happens. Going down the hall. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for checking out the stream. Thank you for having me on 8750. Have a wonderful night. Can't wait for the episode. I'll definitely hype it out even more once it's out. But can't wait for Thursday. Oh shit.
What?
Overdue. I'm gonna die. There's 3 of these motherfuckers. Started healing. Oh, fucking I look all perfect. one-shotted him.
Let's go!
Gonna take out my heavy fucking hitter. During Kirker, I'm my harder hitter. God, I hate that I don't have anything though. Alright, we have one cure all. That'll help. New card. Perfect! Oh, was that double perfect? Because that seems to work. Power up, Seth. Good. Good. It almost sounds like it's weeping. That's gonna be 0.
Let's go!
Can't believe Khan's fucking walk again. I'm gonna have to go back and buy another cure. Buy several cures. At least this way I know how to plan next stream, right? Everyone go in on this guy. Definitely gonna have to do some more grinding next time because these guys are not going down as fast as I would like them to. So, hey, Kyle learned combo. Get back to the save point. I think I'm gonna call it a night. My throat feels okay. So I would like it. I'm gonna rest. Unless we get into another like random battle on the way over there. Okay. So with that, thanks everyone that tuned in. This has been part 6 of Lost Odyssey. Going next time. I've been Javier. Don't forget to check out Nerd Talk Plus on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're now on TikTok, which will be the premier place for Bash and Trash. Then you could also find them on our YouTube. Shout out to Bashy. Love you, bro. You could also check out an awesome show called 8751, which is a podcast about a podcast called 8750, which is also an amazing show. Check out both of them, send some love. And until next time, Ben Javier. I'll be catching you guys on the flip side.